Welcome to the Integration Station. I'm Naturally Ashley, your host, here to guide you down the rabbit hole into the world of psychoactive plants, frogs, and fungi. Hello and welcome back to the Integration Station. I'm here today with Meadow Love, who's the creator of Be Well Healing and Sound Sanctuary Records in Ventura, California. Michelle offers private energy and sound healing sessions, community sound baths, guided sound meditation, visualizations, ceremony and healing circles, also Gong Yoga Nidra, Psychedelic Integration Guidance, home blessings, intuitive sound recordings, distance remote healing sessions, transformational workshops and trainings, retreats and gatherings. Michelle created Be Well Healing in 2017 and Sound Sanctuary Records in 2020. She published 8 energy and sound healing selections, which are available on all music streaming platforms: Amazon Music, Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube Music, and many more. Also, over 100 sound meditations are available on Insight Timer, as well as hosting live stream sound healing events. She has a YouTube channel also, and this has many energy and sound healing selections as well. Michelle is a seasoned teacher in Usui and Tibetan and Karuna healing. She's a master teacher in Reiki. She's a yoga instructor, an energy and sound healer, and medicine woman with over 30 years experience working with all ages in healing arts and education. Michelle is a self-taught musician using her intuition to guide the flow and channel the energy. She's also the mother of 2 daughters, enjoys traveling, festivals, live music, nature, and the arts. In 2011, Michelle was diagnosed with Lyme disease and co-infections. After years of misdiagnosis and suffering, she has healed herself with the modalities she is so humbled to share. Michelle gives back by donating time and medicine in her community. She's a believer in everyone having access to alternative healing modalities and including offerings for an energetic and equitable exchange. Michelle honors barter and trade relationships as an important aspect of the integration of the healing arts. I'm going to link all of her stuff below, but without further ado, I'm going to just introduce her to you. As you'll see in this upcoming video, this collaboration we've done, Michelle's going to speak on her journey where psilocybin helped her and her daughter heal from Lyme disease and multiple co-infections. After a lifetime of traditional doctors who couldn't figure out the problem, she also speaks on her passion for the gong and sound healing and how she's used this in psychedelic integration. Afterwards, we use the gong sounds in a meditation. Tristan put this together for you. It's a psychedelic meditation. It's all about choosing an intention, the breath work, identifying and feeling emotions. It's helping you with your emotions that you're going to experience on any trip, and he goes through multiple different types of psychedelics that he's personally experienced. He also gives a bit of a visualization for helping you apply this to your intuition. So a lot of fun ahead. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
Hello, welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's Ashley here from Elemental Growth, and I've brought a really special guest, Michelle. And what really inspired me to have her here today is some of the integration tools that she uses in addition to the moon magic and and just working with different modalities like Reiki, she's also very much into the sound bowl healing and different other tools that I think would be really helpful for anybody that's not only working with different psychoactive plants, frogs, and fungi, but also for anybody who's integrating, in any parts of their lives. Maybe, they're adjusting to a new diet or a new health plan. Maybe they're adjusting to life outside of the military or anything. These are great integration tools, whether you're working with the medicine or not. And oh my gosh, her dog there is just so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it over so I can just admire now.
She's part of the package deal.
I love it.
She's like, wait, I need to be part of this. She participates in ceremony and service, or in the healing sessions as well. Thank you, Ashley, for having me here today. I'm so super excited that we're able to connect and share in the love of many things that you and I both get to play with in this great experience of life. It's fun to be able to connect with other people who are on the same path. As you mentioned, I have my own practices that I have been working with in many years, many years. And I have the opportunity to share through Be Well Healing and Sound Sanctuary Records the frequencies of the Reiki energy, the shamanic traditions I've been studying, the different ceremonies that I've sat in, the sound healing, the breath work, etc., and really bring in a supportive environment for others to tap into their own innate wisdom and being able to be on a self-healing path, getting away from other areas that we may not want to once we realize maybe it's not the best for us. So my journey began very young. I'm adopted. I didn't know my birth family and I didn't know my medical history. And I grew up in Wisconsin and I had allergies and other things going on that seemed to be normal, if you will. And yet they were pretty debilitating for a very young age. And not knowing a medical history, my wonderful parents raising me did their very best to be able to navigate a health system and try to find answers for what was going on for me. And it wasn't until I was 39 years old and diagnosed with Lyme disease and multiple co-infections after navigating a very long journey that some things really started to make sense in looking back when I was younger and the different symptoms that were presenting themselves and how by the time we would get, if you will, to the proper testing or specific specialist doctors or whatnot, it seemed to be that they left or they disappeared or they took care of themselves. And so we weren't really getting any answers. And the majority of doctors, I don't want to say threw their hands up in the air, but for lack of a better term, had no idea what to do. And most felt it was all in my head that I was making it up. And I ended up on a lot of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine and therapy and all sorts of things at a very young age. At the same time, and now looking back, my psychic abilities and my other spiritual gifts were already online, as everyone's are on a very young age. And my parents lost their son, Billy, my brother, before I was born, and he died in the bedroom that was mine. And so I had this friend, imaginary friend, if you will, and life that nobody else really understood. I didn't understand. And so the two things going hand in hand with my health being crazy, not to mention the things that I was mentioning in experiences that seemed really crazy, it did make a lot of sense that maybe I was crazy and needed some help. When I went to college and about 19 years old, I had already fallen in love with live music and really could feel music in my body. And it was such a beautiful experience having that consistency in my life. And I didn't feel like it was ever an escape. If anything, it was a deeper connection from within. I could close my eyes, I could move my body. I had so much connection to so many things. When college came and I started experimenting with psychedelics and putting the two things together, I was really blown away at how connected not only I felt to myself, but to everything and everyone around me. And the synchronicities that would show up. And again, I was still having a lot of my psychic gifts and other energy type of experiences happening. And it started to give me a little bit more comfort that maybe I wasn't crazy and this was a possibility of being able to experience. And at the same time, then also in college, my health really started taking a downward spiral. And more of the symptoms, if you will, that had been more isolated in my, say, early years and teen years started showing up all at once. And I was ending up in the hospital in the emergency room, was constantly dehydrated, even though water was like my best friend and I carried water with me everywhere and drank water and whatever. So I started practicing yoga at 19 through college as one of my classes you could sign up for. And honestly, I had heard it was an easy A. So that's kind of what brought me to it, was like, all right. And I did it and I liked it and I turned on a lot of people to it, but I didn't necessarily stick with it in that way, if you will, of going to classes. However, one of my biggest takeaways from it was the meditation practice that like broadened during that semester. I had already had my own type of meditation practices and it opened up possibilities to a lot of other things. So again, I started playing around with some psychedelics, meditation, yoga. I already was, if you will, working with energy, but I didn't realize that's really what I was doing. And it wasn't an intentional thing. It was just more of like I'm really cold. I wonder if I can pull energy off of the sun and warm me up, as in, yes, we can, but living in Wisconsin when it's very, very cold out, and playing. So yeah, I finally, fast forward, had gotten married, had my children. When my first daughter was born, during that pregnancy, every symptom I'd ever had came up. I started losing my eyesight. I gained 16 pounds in like 2 days. They put me on bed rest. There was no risk to my daughter that they thought of, but of course they wanted to keep me on a bed rest resting program to see what was going on. Throughout my pregnancy, I had a doula midwife that lived right down the street. And so she really supported me a lot in massage and whatnot. And one of the biggest things that she continuously encouraged me to do was to use cannabis during both of my pregnancies, being that our system has those connections and it would be silly to stop that at this point. And I really believe, looking back at that, alternatives,
could be an issue. I mean, like right now it's Halloween, right? Mm-hmm. So there's all these serial killer documentaries out and stuff. I've been noticing that like a common denominator is that a lot of the mothers were on antidepressants and all these antipsychotics. And that really was the generation where all of that was happening. And if you even look at the studies on Tylenol or Advil, what does it do? Reduces the empathy, right?
Absolutely.
So, and then you add in even stronger stuff into the mix. It's really crazy. So yeah, I had the same thing. I had to fight with my people. I didn't fight with my midwives or anything, I guess, but I did stay firm, which was hard for me at the time to have my boundaries and say, I'm going to continue this. Yes. I'm not able to have my baby in a waterfall, so I'm already negotiating.
Right, exactly. Like, we're all going to compromise at this point.
Exactly. But I'm glad that you did, because it's something that not a lot of people are talking about. And
and it definitely did. It shame for me in secretiveness, if you will. And yet, especially married at the time, I'm now divorced, it's not that my ex-husband is anti-cannabis or a lot of things, but he really believed in you are going to be hurting the baby, if you will, instead of hey, this is supporting both of us and our bodies and the development and the whole 9 yards. And so it wasn't, again, that I like kept it a secret from him, but I was really grateful. I had this woman down the street who was so knowledgeable in the women's body, in cannabis, in alternative and holistic healing, which I had already gotten acupuncture during my pregnancy because of some of these symptoms, whatever. So in that time, my daughter, by the time she was 4 or 5 months old, they were saying failure to thrive, which is later than often. But again, we didn't know that there was Lyme disease. I wasn't producing what they thought was enough milk, even though she was fine. We had to weigh her. It just was a whole born healthy, doing well, and then things kind of dropped off. And she got pneumonia. And needless to say, after I was diagnosed with Lyme disease and co-infections, the light bulb went on and, hey, good chance my daughters also have this if I didn't know when I was pregnant. And so then through that, I started seeing a naturopath doctor. I was seeing an acupuncturist, a chiropractor. I was doing so many holistic things and really getting away from Western medicine, and came back around to mushrooms and psilocybin and started microdosing and playing around. And when I say playing around, it's that intuition, that curiosity of trusting that I'm being guided how I need to. So I definitely appreciate everybody out there who's gone before me, and there's the research and what people have done, and I'm my own medicine. So I have to figure out what works best for me. And so it's nice to have the guidelines and the support of people, and I won't know until I know what's going to work for me. So I started playing around with that. And at the same time, was fortunate enough to learn how to make the full extract cannabis oil, and started using full extract cannabis oil at the same time. And within a very short amount of time of doing that and filing for divorce, my health took a big turn up, and my naturopath doctor started to ask, what are you doing that I don't know? And whatever code of ethics, whatever, I don't know the proper term, was I'm not necessarily in the position to be able to help people with this. Would you want to support them? Sure. So that kind of opened up a door and a possibility of there's more people out here who could benefit from this. Again, not my specific way. I can guide and share, but you're going to have to figure out which keys work for you. And mine was the combination of my yoga practice, my meditation, the breath work, Reiki, being in nature, getting away from a lot of toxins, including my marriage and other things like that. And so that's really an individual journey for many people to figure out where those pieces or the keys are going to unlock the freedom that it is. So about 5-6 years ago, I went on a really amazing retreat to Costa Rica, and had just become a Reiki master, and I was practicing a lot of Kundalini, and we were in the jungle, and I had so many downloads pouring through me about what now is my life as far as Be Well Healing and Sound Sanctuary Records, and having a lot of music and those frequencies out there for the world to be able to tap into and utilize. And as you mentioned, whether you are using any plant medicine or fungi or frogs or anything or not, it's such a similar and simpatico, if you will. I don't know how many times I've had people come up to me after receiving in a sound bath in the community or whatever and say, wow, that reminded me of long, long ago when I did this, that, or the other thing. Or that's what I've imagined people have said when they have a trip on such and such medicine or whatever. And it's just really beautiful how specifically the gongs contain every sound and frequency that there ever has been discovered, if you will. And I do believe that there are more coming through. Specifically, when I'm playing mine, I feel like there's new frequencies that are coming through, and being able to share that, which is all encompassing of all that there is, really taps people into a lot of possibilities on a cellular level.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is so much expanding. It's first of all, like, I think or believe that music is what really connects us all through our heart centers. Yeah, I really truly believe in the power of music to connect us. I did the concert thing too when I was in college, every weekend, sometimes several times a week. And I spent a decade in the hospitality and tourism industry. So I was around it a lot. And it really does connect the people in the group locally. But I also believe, just like Reiki, this can be done through distance too.
Absolutely.
I've in ceremonies played around with sound bowls, but I'm definitely more of a receiver of music than the person who's giving. There's other ways in my life that I give. When it comes to music, I'm definitely on the receiving end. And I was just serenaded by a beautiful healer locally, and he showed up on my birthday and put us to bed, me and the girls. And woke up, and she sang happy birthday on the sound bowls. It was probably the best sleep I ever had. And the next day, waking up and getting that energy again, because it is energy giving, I was like on cloud 9. I was just out of this world, high above it all. It was beautiful.
That's epic. I love that.
It's awesome. A really powerful medicine for connecting to yourself, for connecting to the other people that are, in the room or in the collective too.
Yes.
Doing this in a global forum, or grabbing music offline.
Yeah, totally.
So how did you find each modality that, if you can walk us through that?
So yoga through college, easy A. And then psychedelics through college, through people. Reiki was introduced to me when I went to my yoga teacher training, and that was in 2013 at White Lotus in Santa Barbara with Ganga White. And the very first day I met this beautiful soul named Jacqueline as we were waiting to check in. And we weren't in the same yurt, but in the morning we were both up very early, brushing teeth and bathrooms, and just started chatting. And she mentioned to me that she was a Reiki master and would I like to receive Reiki? And I was like, oh my gosh, I would love that. Thank you. And up until that point, again, I had played around with energy, but Reiki was a very new term to me, yet it sounded very familiar. And so that day on break, we went back to my yurt, and she started giving me Reiki. And when she got to my throat and my heart, my whole body just started shaking, and I cracked wide open. And then I had another, if you will, episode a few days later where my whole body just felt like it was burning up, and I was still dealing with some of the Lyme disease and whatnot, and we're in yoga teacher training, and I'm cracked wide open. And there was another woman there who was a local Ventura, because my friend Jacqueline lives on the East Coast, and she offered to give me Reiki that night. I stepped out of the asana class and like the workshop we were doing, and I just laid in the main kitchen area on a bed and slept, and I could hear her doing the cooking and stuff. And so she offered me Reiki, and we went down into the yoga room, and as soon as she put her hands on me, I felt the heat just going out of my body. It's giving me chills. And so that was super powerful. When I came back to Ventura after that experience, a friend reached out to me because I had mentioned it on social media, and she's like, if you're interested, I'm a Reiki master. And I was like, I had no idea. And there it began. Within a very short time, I want to say maybe I'd have to look at my certificates, I don't know, but probably less than a year, I started doing my Reiki attunements. My beautiful friend Jacqueline flew out to California and gifted me my Reiki master attunement on the beach one day after Kundalini practice. Amazing. And then, like I said, I went to Costa Rica that was the first time I had the opportunity to play the gong. Up until that point, I had just received. And a lot of people, and I totally understand it, do not necessarily want others playing their gongs. And so I really hadn't had an opportunity to play a gong. And the retreat center we were staying at, had a gong, a community gong. And so I struck it and played it. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then on 11/11, we did a gong bath, and my friend Jonathan was the one gonging, and everybody was laying in the circle, and I had offered to give Reiki, and so I went around the circle and was giving Reiki. And when I came to him at the end to put my hands on his back, I just had this, wow, I'm going to be playing gongs. And so I mentioned it to him, and he let me practice on his gongs for the next year until I connected with the gong, which my first one was the heart gong. And so then that opened up that part of it. And through continuing to use psilocybin on a pretty regular basis, I started to incorporate some of that in for my own self, and also was becoming more aware of other energy healers, musicians who are putting some things together and journeying. East Forest being one that I just adore, his music and what he's doing. And last year, a dear friend of mine and I, a healer, we held the first official ceremony with sound and mushrooms and cannabis and rape and sananga and Reiki and yoga and breath work. And it was in her backyard, and she had quite a few of her friends. And then a month later, we held another one at this beautiful property. And since then, it's started to become something that's, I don't want to say regular, but my next one's going to be on 11/11. I'm super excited for that evening and what's coming together with a new collaborative place where I will be offering sound simultaneously as she is doing massage with CBD and THC and some other things that we've been playing around with talking as well. So that's a fantastic collaboration that I'm very grateful to be open to receiving. And so most everything I do really is intuitively guided, and I trust myself and trust the medicine, and I trust the energies to be very supportive. And I'm really excited for all the things that are happening.
Yeah, it's all happening, right? It's so exciting. It's an exciting time, and I'm excited for you, all the amazing things that are unfolding for you right now.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to press pause right now so we can do a break. But we'll come back on, and I've got some questions for you around trusting yourself, intuition, and these other things. I really do believe that you would be an amazing support and resource for a lot of our listeners here. So we'll have you right back.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye, Michelle.
Hi.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own cannabis is easier than you think. Whether you're growing for recreational or medical purposes, BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. From the standard 4-plant recreational systems to the latest cutting-edge hydroponic equipment, BMA can customize your package and do it at discount prices. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and ask us for a free estimate. Or call 613-967-9888 and we will give you an estimate over the phone.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million. This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to savethebcbc@gmail.com. I guess those are the two easiest ways for people to help right now.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Welcome back, Michelle.
Thank you.
Man, I love hearing your story. It just resonates with me so much. And I really want to know what advice you have for anybody who's just trying to find themselves, just trying to finding themselves on this self-healing journey as their only way forward, but finding their confidence, finding their intuition, finding what they need to get some results.
I think that the first thing I would start with is really checking in with yourself and as you mentioned, asking the question why of what is your intention and where are you coming from, if you will? Are you able to drop out of your head for a moment and into your heart? And the best way I would say to do that is to be able to find a time each day. It doesn't have to be the same time of the day. It doesn't have to be the same length of time a day, but a time, whether it's first thing in the morning before you go to bed or anywhere in between, where you can close your eyes, really try to focus on the breath for a moment, which sounds so easy and hard maybe, because there could be a lot going on, and breathe. And just in the beginning, notice how much resistance comes up, how many thoughts want to get in the way of like, you should be doing this, you forgot to blah, 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 blah. And consistently coming back to your breath, maybe a mantra of I trust myself, or something that just keeps you focused on an inward for, again, set a timer for 2 minutes, it's perfect. And then come back to it. If you miss the next day, we're human, give yourself grace, try to come back the next day. Eventually, the more we can sit with that stillness for a moment, the presence, the breath, the inner wisdom that we all carry, the mind chatter and what I like to call the loud starts to soften, and we start to hear those inner whispers or the little messages from within. And a lot of times, before we even hear those, we see in the external what people like to say as coincidences, and I like to refer to as synchronicities, and there Absolutely. Are no coincidences. And once we're picking up on those, I feel like it's easier, and not for everyone's different, but to start to be like, oh, wow, I thought of that person this morning and they called me, or I saw myself doing that and here I am. And noticing like, oh, my inner self, my inner guiding, my true north, my compass, my highest self, my true self, my godlike self, whatever you want to say, is actually steering me on this. And in my belief, in my experience, energetically, we're already far up here. We're already farther ahead, if you will. And our physical is catching up to it. And so often those little love taps, those gut intuitions happen because we're already tapped into the experience that we're looking for, or the answer we are seeking, or whatever it is. And being able to, journaling is a great thing. You start to notice, if you look back at and or just the act of writing down, more and more of these things. But you don't have to do that. Again, everybody can find their own way of finding it. But the simplest, which again isn't always that simple, is to really give yourself that gift of a few minutes a day. Soon that gift of a few minutes a day turns into you're tapped in all the time, and your life isn't walking meditation. And of course, you still can have those moments of stillness in a more traditional, if you will, meditative practice, valuable as all can be. And you're in tune with so much that is going on that you're there. I don't know how else to say it, but you're there, and your life starts being guided by that intuition. So whether it becomes your feelings of leaving a relationship or a job, or changing your diet, or starting a new hobby, or a relationship, or a dream that you're manifesting to, or whatever it may be, you pick up on, if you will, those little hints along the way. And you start to recognize that if you get out of your own way in what you think, how it should show up, how it should be, control,
I want
and
this,
really
and it's not what I wanted, but
yes,
it's like,
right now.
Yeah. You gotta let go of those expectations and just trust. Like, the universe got your back. You will get there.
Yes.
It may not be the same vessel that you imagine.
And when we're human and we do get in our way, often giving ourselves, again, that grace and really not beating ourselves up about it. I feel like that is so much a part of this whole game we're playing here.
Yes, it brings the bad vibes, right? Bad vibes, bad juju. It's like, no.
Absolutely. We can give so much grace to everyone else, to the point of people pleasing and overgiving and not having boundaries and all sorts of things. And I'm right there. I'm on this path. I did not, if you will, wake up, and yet, I did wake up one day, and be like, hey, I want to be a healer someday. I had many people saying to me, you are a healer, you are a healer. And I hadn't had enough experience, if you will, to know what that looked like, what it meant, what it felt like. And even now, it's not the necessarily easiest words that just tumble out of my mouth, because I'm not healing anyone out there. And yet you're all an aspect. We're all one together and connected. But I'll hold the space, and I'll meet you on the energetic space so that we can reflect each other, and you can draw off of what you're seeing, feeling, and experiences as we synergize together. And then again, take what works for you and leave the rest behind. But too often, and I was there, I wanted that quick fix. I wanted it now, change it, someone else heal me. I'm not really sure I know what to do or how to do the work.
Yeah.
Give me something. And I think that goes for anything. Yesterday morning, I was teaching a Gong Yoga Nidra class for the new moon eclipse. Powerful energy coming up. And I was saying, this class is great, guys. We're all on a bliss, and this is a high and really cool. And now your magic's going to start. Integration. That's where it happens. This is really cool. Yeah, this is really, like, I'm really glad we're all here and did this. And it might feel worse before it feels better. You're going to have stuff that's going to come up for you. I'm here to support you. Absolutely. Please feel free to call on me. And this really, like, the gift is now in your hand. What do you want to do with it? So.
And I think you touched on something, many really important things there. But it really is about allowing that little voice that's inside to become the loud one, because I think ego so much takes over the intuition because it wants
Absolutely.
to protect us and because we feel unsafe, or because
Yes.
we're scared that if we don't people please, somebody's gonna be upset, and heaven forbid we be the cause of somebody else being upset. It's crazy, because then we end up hurting ourselves, and we end up building up that ego in an unhealthy way. I very much believe that it's okay for it to be there, but it needs to be aligned with our soul, not
Absolutely.
our soul and our intuition being squeezed out and snuffed out by this big ego, or I any kind of animal that I want to use in this metaphor, I feel would be insulting to the animal. So I'm just gonna say, it's this big energy that
Yeah.
know. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing in that. I'm curious how you learned to trust in yourself and allow that voice to be louder.
So definitely my medical health history has been the biggest influence in trusting my intuition. When I was younger, trusting my parents to be able to do their best in navigating what they were doing. And then, as I mentioned, once I went into college and I'm an adult and get to make my own decisions, if you will, it wasn't always resonating with me what was being recommended, and specifically a lot of the pharmaceuticals of pain pills and psychiatric drugs and all sorts of, I had gone in for a sleep test, and my doctor at the time, he was my doctor, I trusted him, and he comes in with Nasacort and is like, well, sometimes you're not breathing the best, so that might be not sleep apnea, but here's a nose spray with whatever God knows. And I was like, no, I'm not doing, that's not getting to the problem here, friend.
Yeah.
I need something else. Not as in something else to give me, but okay. And so I felt like I did a lot of checking off the boxes on my own and really ruling out, this does not work, this does not work, this was not work. And at the same time, a lot of the things that, if you will, society, for lack of a better term, was don't use that, that's bad, oh my goodness. Those were the things that were supporting me on this journey. So the medical, once I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, which was 39, I really started to take that into my own hands and be like, all right, well, what we've done in the past has not worked, so we're going to do it this way. Earlier than that, though, I feel like my intuition definitely from 19 years old on, with a lot of what was going on with the yoga, really popped in and started navigating my choices of I gotta be honest, the Grateful Dead is playing, I'm supposed to work, I'm calling in sick to work, and I'm going to a Grateful Dead show, and there I went, and I just lived a life as in I can get another job. I can drop this class. And it was but you can't drop this class because you put it, and I was this isn't working for me anymore, and it's not a fuck yes anymore. I'm out. Now, there are areas in my life that's not always the strongest. We're working on balancing all of the
fuck
things.
yes scale. If it doesn't make the fuck yes scale, it's out.
It's out. Yeah. And sometimes it is a fuck yes until it's not.
Yeah.
And then not being afraid to walk away from it and be I don't care how much money I put into it, time I put it, I don't care what I said. As in, oh no, I'm committed to this, and things change, life changes. And that's been a huge, for me, in holding space to people. Again, me personally, everybody can run their own business and do their things, but I would never feel in integrity for not offering refunds, there's some things like ceremony where I would like you to put a deposit down to hold your space because we only have so many people, and shit happens. I'm not going to be nope, I'm keeping your money. Haha, too bad. That means you're not committed. No, you're committed to yourself. If something comes up and you're this isn't going to work anymore, thank you. So that kind of thing really is important, if you will, for me to hold space for others. And then the being as sick as I was with having people help caretake my very young children and filing for divorce was probably the solidifier on my intuition. I was very sick with the Lyme disease. I was not able to drive myself at a certain point. I had to have people drive me. I was giving myself injections of B12 to help with my energy. I was so scared of needles. I had other people doing that because I couldn't think I could do it myself. And it got to the point where it was like, okay, you believe in like self-healing and nobody's going to save you, but like, let's kick all the trash to the curb, if you will. And that's such a beautiful metaphor for my life. I feel like I get things in like the packages. And so traditional schooling, I went through traditional schooling like a lot of us do in the public school education, and was a teacher for many years, an education degree, and it's not a one size fits all. And I like to be able to be given the packet of healing or lessons and work through it not on my own. I know I have a beautiful tribe around me, but not beyond you have to do it this way, you have to whatever, because anytime that, for me, it brings up so much resistance. And it used to be more of the default of like, well, I'll show you, as in, again, coming back to the beginning of what I said, your intention. I don't want to come from a place of wronging anyone else. And so really reframing that in not a, I'll show you, but again, let me take what works for me, apply it to myself, and let the rest go. And know that not everything is meant for me. Not everyone is meant for me. Not every holistic practice is for me, but there are a lot of them that will. And so it's been a lot of trial and error and a lot of trying things that haven't been for me, and really having to let go of that attachment. One of my girlfriends and I always laugh, and it's like, well, you don't go into the store and try on the coat, even though it looks beautiful and you love it, but then you put it on and it's itchy as hell. You don't be like, oh, but I put it on, now I have to buy it, and out the door you go with this coat. You put it back and you walk away and you're like, the right one will come. And again, it's not about right or wrong, but what's meant for you. The jacket that's not itchy is going to show up. So don't settle for the itchy one.
That's such a great metaphor in all areas. It's a great metaphor because, you know, in the business world, it's all about like you put on these different hats, you're putting on these different coats. And it's also great when it comes to, you know, one size does not fit all in medicine, in diet, in any area of life, parenting, you know, any of it. You really do just, I don't even know. I just heard you do a big exhale there. I've read so many parenting books and none of them are my kids. None, out of all the children I read about being raised, mine is an original. Yes, absolutely. They all are. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The differences in my two daughters, and just, it's what a practice, and being present in the moment and letting the shit go. Don't worrying about the future and really trying to, wow. It's a big psychedelic trip. The biggest I've been on. Every day, heaven and hell. Absolutely. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many lessons in it. So much laughter, but also tears. And also, you know, darkness from, you know, worry and things like that. One thing that I have been really reminding myself of lately, thinking about the good and the bad here, is that the man who studied the I Ching cover to cover, he said his biggest takeaway from it was that worry is like praying to the devil. So when we're thinking about like all the positive things that we're doing, how we want to like people please, everybody loves us, or whatever, you know, we want to be this positive light worker, all of these things. So no way can we face the bad side. But like, let's be honest, everybody has these worries, and a lot of people allow them to consume, or they'll hide it because they don't want to be seen for that. But, you know, we have to be upfront. This is the shadow work. This is so important. You know, we have to know what's inside of us. And we don't want it to be praying to the devil by obsessing over it. So the best way is like, get it out, talk to a friend, get it out in a journal, burn that stuff. Absolutely. And trust in like
the timing is none of our freaking business. Time is an illusion anyway. So like, put it out there, and yeah, it's not easier said than done, but put it out there and trust that it's being taken care of.
Yep.
Every time I do that, I'm freaking wowed by what shows up, and yet I'll still get in my own way about things because I want it this way and I want it now and blah blah blah, and this person's not doing blah.
But the coat will come.
It will.
Perfect.
It always does. Yeah. And sometimes in the weirdest, craziest places it shows up and you're like, didn't know I was going to find the coat here in the Bahamas or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. That's so funny. You don't need one in the Bahamas.
Right? But here it is.
Yeah, it's true. I love that. One of my favorite practices too when working with different mantras or anything is or like visualizations. I'll start showing like what kind of property I'd have and different things, and it's like I want this or something better. That way it's allowing opportunity. And sometimes the something better is just a lesson to get you closer to that other thing too. But it's about being open and not being attached, being able to surrender instead to whatever is out there, because we are so we're limitless, but we're also limited in our thinking. And if we're limited in our thinking, then guess what? We're limited in our magic. And even though we have the potential of being limitless, if we're in our way, we're putting up those blocks or being attached to, so many little details. The devil's in the details, right?
Yes, totally.
It can cause some trouble, but
definitely.
When we're open, there's a lot more freedom that comes, and we got to start tapping into some of that limitless potential.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So cute.
No, thank you.
My jealous right here. She's like doing her back, laying on her back there, waiting for a belly rub. She's getting there. She's like, soon. I know my mommy's almost done.
I know. I see you. You can sit down. It's okay.
All right, Michelle. Well, I'm so grateful for your time today. I just have 2 more questions.
Okay.
First is, if I was to give you a dandelion, what wish would you make for the world today?
I wish for every single one of us to be able to do that at any moment of closing their eyes, placing their hand on their heart, and feeling the magic and the medicine, the entire universe. All the answers that we're seeking are right within. And to be able to really hold on to that feeling, that sensation, that gift that is, and recognize how powerful we really are.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
We are so powerful. And when we can get the music, like what you're teaching here, to bring us all together, that power expands really, really fast and in extraordinary ways.
Absolutely.
So lastly, Michelle, how can everybody reach you?
I am on social media, Michelle Meadow Love, MicheleMeadowLove. And Instagram is probably where I do a lot of that type. I have a YouTube channel as well. I have many audio that you can listen to on Insight Timer app. There's probably 100 different selections on there of gongs and happy drums and guided meditations. And my website is bewellhealing.com. And I think I'm on LinkedIn too, but I'm not really active yet. So yeah, I think those are the major places you can find me. Yeah, I have 8 selections on all of the music streaming platforms that you listen to. There's like 150 options of those, whether it's, say, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music. Authentic Light, Inner Standing, Intuitive Flow. There's another I one. Michelle Meadow Love, Divine Connection, Cosmic Surrender, and Universe. That's it. Those 8. And those are 15 minutes to 30 minutes. They're infused with healing frequencies, Reiki, shamanic energies, and intention of just what I spoke of a minute ago, of really everyone being able to tap into, connect, and carry that inner magic and beauty and all that you desire outwardly that is already within you, to be able to tap into that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And
You're
I will
welcome.
link all of that stuff in the captions here too, and
Okay.
after my producer as well, just for anybody who didn't catch all of that, it'll be clickable. But yeah, thank you so much for your time, Michelle. And we'll
Thank
be back
you.
in touch. This was such a blessing to have you here.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye, love.
Bye. Be well.
You too.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
When you think of the number of unique products developed in the fields, kitchens, and labs at Legacy 420, it's hard to think that one stands out above the rest. But tell that to the thousands of people who have tried this amazing breakthrough product.
This is our sacred salve. This is actually our extra strength. It comes in 5 different strengths. It's all natural, all organic. It typically works within 10 to 15 minutes of putting it on. It's good for arthritis, it's good for inflammation, any kind of pain. We're very proud of it.
Sacred salve, so easy to apply, along with soothing relief. To select a strength that's right for you, come in and talk to your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Pace Radio Network, by patients, for patients, and for those who want to know.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive. The only way to go.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP. Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hello and welcome. I appreciate you for joining me today. Right now we're going to do a deep dive psychedelic meditation that will aid you in your psychedelic journey, especially if you are using this for a ceremony right now. Start by sitting or standing comfortably. Have your posture upright, at ease and relaxed. Take a deep, filling breath of cold, fresh air. Inhale deeply. Hold your breath in a relaxed pause. And slowly and with ease, exhale gently. As you breathe your next few breaths, focus on your intention. What do you want to learn from this experience? What frequency of emotion would you like to experience? Is there a problem that you currently need to solve? And you are ready to look inward to find your answers. Breathe in slowly. Hold your breath for about 10 seconds and exhale. Pause at the end of your exhale and let your lungs and your chest relax and just be still. There is a synchronized moment between the last heartbeat and your last exhale, and that when they're timed perfectly right, your consciousness is on that border realm and ready to touch your breakthrough. Once you have your intention, repeat it to yourself. Simplify it in your mind. Be able to refine it down to a few words. Repeat it to yourself as a little mantra. Focus on visualizing what your intention of this experience is. Allow your third eye to open. Vividly and lucidly see and experience what life looks like once your intention has come to pass. Prepare your mind to be opened quickly and rapidly. Take your medicine. Take it now. How does it feel if you are taking a nice, warm, relaxing sip of tea? How it relaxes your muscles. How it seeps in to your consciousness. The giddies kick in, the smiles, the happiness. Inhale this frequency of happiness, giddies and giggles, the things that make you feel silly. Take a moment and reflect on the memories that you have coming up that you've experienced in life. Feeling this happy. Prepare your mind's eye to be opened. Perhaps you're working with DMT right now. And as you put your vape pen to your lips, your heart quickens. Your vessels dilate, preparing your soul for a journey beyond that which can be explained. You take a quick puff in. You breathe deeper and deeper. You hold it. You hold that breath for 10 seconds. And with relaxed ease, you exhale. You take another breath in. Slower, longer, deeper this time. More relaxed yet still. And you hold in your medicine. You exhale, relax. You take your third breath, deep, long, but slow and relaxed. In your mind's eye, you can see mandalas moving with beautiful geometric shapes and patterns. Unique and of themselves. These patterns are living little beings that scamper around like little lizards almost. And they crawl up your skin and across your counter. They touch and move the energy of everything they contact. You're almost there. Take one more long, deep, controlled breath in and hold. And whether your eyes are open or if they are closed, you are now catapulted through the space-time barrier and launched face first into a world where your intentions have already come to pass. Your prayers have been heard and they have been answered. Your wounds have been healed. Your body is refreshed. Your mind is renewed. Your soul is rebirthed. You open your eyes and you look around. And you watch how the world itself is shaped and reshaped into a new reality. One just for you. You breathe in and you feel those giddy giggles again. You feel so happy and relaxed, overjoyed and overwhelmed. You are in awe at both how you are feeling and the visuals that you have been seeing. You look at the vibrancy of the sky, the fluffiness of the clouds. Everything is more defined, brighter, more vibrant. Everything flows and connects, all unique matter touching itself, bonding with the objects beside it. You can see the energy flow through the floors, through the walls, through nature itself, and up into the sky. You are surrounded by beautiful creatures, ones that you cannot fully see, but you know are there. Their presence feels that of the atmosphere in the room that changes based off your own emotions. When you feel happy and calm and relaxed, these beautiful otherworldly creatures that are attracted to you give you the same feeling of that relaxing on a beach. Perhaps enjoying Christmas with your family. Beautiful, loving, fulfilled emotions that bring happy, joyous, bolstering with happiness kind of memories that flow through you. Smile so big. You are in awe that you can relive these beautiful memories with such safety, ease, and peace of mind. The lucidity of reliving these joyous moments with our loved ones. Joyous moments that we've experienced alone by ourselves as well. Breathe, slow and true. Exhale with joy and ease. And now you feel and experience an overwhelming feeling of being in love. Being in love with life, being in love with yourself, and being in love with what or whom has inspired these emotions and memories to come forth in you. If you're having an LSD trip right now, you will be feeling so much love. Your body relaxing, breathing into any discomfort that you may be feeling. Breathing slowly and calmly through any memories that you may not wish to be experiencing. You take a moment and analyze your thoughts and your feelings and how your body is physically feeling. And you're going to select what you know with confidence and what these medicines have shown you deserve to be there, and what you honestly can't be bothered wasting your time, mind, and attention on. And you are able to release all things that are negative that no longer serve you. Not in this trip. Not at this level of happiness and love. Not in your day-to-day life. Take another deep breath in. Charge it with love and confidence in knowing that you are taking control of your life right now. You are sound in mind, and you are taking control over your self-discipline and your mental discipline. And you are exhaling out all the bad habits, all the bad thoughts, all the negative energies and memories that aren't worth your time. You breathe in again, and a white golden light fills your lungs. You are overjoyed again with calming love and happiness. And you are reminded and receiving images in your mind's eye about all the things that have inspired you to be courageous. The moments in life that have inspired you to be your true self. Ones that allow you to relax and let go of your fears so you can be open with a loved one. So that you can have hard conversations with an important person. The moments in life that gave you the confidence and courage to heal both yourself and the people around you. Take a moment and reflect on the people that you've been able to help, the people who you have healed and made a difference in their life. Take a moment to reflect on how important you are, how important your existence is. Know that you matter. Know that your every choice and action makes a positive difference to everyone that you meet. Remember that there are people who look to you for inspiration and as an inspiration. You are loved. Everybody is somebody's everything. Take a deep breath in. This time, reflect on all the people who have been there for you, all the ways the universe has come through, sheltered you when you needed it, healed you when you required it, and walked with you on your path that has brought you to this moment right now. Remember with gratitude all the moments that you didn't think you were going to make it. And just on the other side of the hill, everything was so much better than you ever hoped. And in truth, in many ways, things are not as bad as we trick ourselves into thinking they might be. Now, to yourself, list off 10 things that you are the most grateful for. The things that in the morning you wake up knowing that your life would be very different without these. Can you name more than 10? Can you name more than 20? Take a moment to reflect with gratitude and appreciation all the moments in life that in the moment you may have been agitated, frustrated, or annoyed, when in your heart, somewhere, you know that you were truly more happy in this one moment than you have been in many moments. And reflect that sometimes it's just our ego being uncomfortable that can sabotage these beautiful moments that are oh so important to us, that we really can't live without. Take a deep breath in, and take a moment, and reflect on what emotion you are feeling right now. Would you change how you're feeling? Would you amplify it? Would you completely reverse it? Would you wish it on somebody else? That's a beautiful gift. Let's find that emotion. A beautiful, truly happy and inspiring feeling that we would wish to give to somebody as a gift. That, like a psychedelic, they could hold it with them and save it for when they needed it. And in those moments, they can open this gift of an emotion, and whatever they were feeling at that time will be completely overwhelmed with this joyous, giddy, fun, silly, giggly feeling of an emotion that comes with calm and confidence. A feeling that gives us courage and strength and lets us know that we are not only okay, but we have the power in us to make sure that others are also okay. Let's hold on to this feeling and take a very large breath. And we're going to infuse our lungs with this joyous feeling. We're going to think of somebody we want to give this to. Visualize who they are. Think of their name. Think of what they look like. think of how you feel when you're interacting with them. Concentrate on the dynamic you have in your relationship. And exhale. And as you release, your emotion is being sent to them. And if your intention is that they feel it right away, the chances that they do are very strong. And you can even contact them and let them know that you sent them a little prayer and that they can use this whenever they need to feel better. Thank you all for joining me. Take care and good night.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network, here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponic superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go. When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. Gift organic cannabis is what you seek. Here's your trusted partners 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch, yes, watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network, here at paceradio.net.